This exhibition is an experiment, I suppose. It's a new way of museums interacting.
This is important not only for India, for the world. The impact will be everywhere.
The togetherness of it, the sharing of collections, sharing of expertise. It's a learning experience from start to finish. It's coming together beautifully, a complete transformation. This museum works miracles. What makes this project exceptional is that it's the first time that a project has evolved, an East-West project, with India being asked to shape the narrative.
Our interest was to understand India's position in the ancient world. What was happening in India and what was happening around India, and how India connected with the rest of the world. That was our inquiry.
The curators of CSMVS were asked initially, what do you think your Indian audience would want to see to understand ancient Western culture?
We thought that the best way to do that was to showcase sculptures, and all the sculptures in the exhibition happen to be sacred sculptures. They really carry the entire histories of their regions within them. We had the opportunity to do a meeting with the curators who are lending their objects from the British Museum, from Berlin, and from the Getty Museum. And we asked them some very Indian questions. And by Indian questions, we mean questions that may come to the mind of an Indian person who is looking at these objects. Why is it that a Greek god wears slippers?
Why do the Greek gods look away?
Why are the Greek gods always shown in the nude?
Aphrodite just looks like a woman coming out of her bath. What is it that makes her a god? Seeing the stunned looks on the faces of the British and German curators, and then there's a god, I've never thought of that.
I think it's led to curatorial breakthroughs on all sides, and how much we can learn from one another about the meaning of the objects and the resonance in different cultural contexts.
We see them in a very different light today, as beautiful and as wonderful as they are presented here. When I go back to London, I can communicate with my colleagues and speak of the fantastic opportunities here for sharing the collection in this way.
This is where museum partnerships and the trust that they engender and build on becomes so important and so much in evidence in this project.
We want our audiences to relive this process of curation that we have been privy to stand in front of these absolutely ancient, beautiful sculptures and marvel at them, but more importantly, ask questions about themselves and their histories. That's really the ultimate aim. India, as you know, is a large country. It has very diverse people.
You have the urban audience and you have the rural audience.
You'd really have to travel to a large metropolis to be able to look at collections like what we have, you know. And that's not something that an average Indian would be able to do.
So we had to have a plan where the knowledge, the ideas should travel into rural India. And that's what the Museum on Wheels is going to do.
The idea really is to take the museum to people. It functions on the principle of if you cannot come to the museum will come to you. We've been as far as about 2,000 kilometers away from Mumbai. We have a set of museum replicas that we create, and you get to see them in this bus. When those doors open, and then they've seen things that have come in from all over the world, you know, and to be able to look at those objects, I think it's something quite wondrous for them.
The idea of sending our collection out as an educational tool, what greater gift could a museum give?
It's about, igniting that little spark in people's minds, that little bit of excitement about culture, and then really watching that sort of flourish.